Welcome to our podcast summary of the episode. We're summoning ghosts, not building animals. From Dwarkesh Patel with Andrej Karpathy. The link to the full 2.5-hour episode is listed in the description below. If you find this content a real time saver to explore new ideas, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. While the rest of the industry is buzzing about the year of agents, Karpathy is hitting the brakes. He's suggesting we're off by a factor of 10. It's more like a decade. Andrej Karpathy is one of the most respected AI engineers in the world, a founding member of OpenAI and the former head of AI at Tesla. So, the central question is, why does one of the world's leading AI engineers believe we're getting the timeline for truly useful AI so wrong? In this video, we're going to distill Andrej Karpathy's core arguments from a recent in-depth interview. We'll explore his frank assessment of today's AI, a powerful new analogy for understanding what we're actually building, and the fundamental flaws he sees in how these systems learn. This isn't a story of pessimism. It's a story of engineering realism from someone who has spent years on the front lines. Let's dive in. To understand Karpathy's decade-long timeline, we first need to grasp his blunt assessment of where AI agents stand today. He frames the goalposts clearly. An agent should be something you could hire as an employee or an intern. But when he asks himself why he doesn't just replace human workers with an AI like Claude or Codex today, his answer is simple: because they just don't work. According to Karpathy, this isn't about one missing feature. It's a collection of deep, fundamental limitations. He breaks down why you can't hire an AI intern just yet. First, they lack intelligence. For complex, open-ended knowledge work, he states they simply don't have enough intelligence. They can handle boilerplate, but struggle with intellectually intense, novel tasks. Second, they're not multimodal enough. They are primarily text processors. They struggle to operate in environments that involve vision, sound, and spatial reasoning, which are critical for many real-world jobs. Third, and this is a huge bottleneck, they can't use a computer. Agents are not yet proficient at operating the digital world we all live in, using a mouse, keyboard, and various applications to get things done. Fourth, there's no continual learning. You can't just tell an AI something once and expect it to remember and integrate that knowledge permanently. As he puts it, you can't just tell them something and they'll remember it. They restart from scratch with every new session. Ultimately, Karpathy bundles these issues into a single diagnosis. Today's models are fundamentally cognitively lacking. These practical limitations, he argues, aren't just minor bugs to be patched. They stem from a fundamental difference in how we are building AI compared to the only other form of intelligence we know, the one created by nature. In technology, the analogies we use shape our thinking, can either clarify or mislead. Karpathy offers a powerful new mental model, the ghosts versus animals framework, to correct what he sees as a flawed comparison between AI and biological intelligence. He argues we are not, in fact, building digital animals. Here's how his framework breaks down. Animals are created through evolution, a slow, embodied optimization process. AI ghosts, on the other hand, are created by summoning them through imitation of human data from the internet. Animals come with a huge amount of built-in hardware, like a zebra running minutes after birth. AI ghosts are ethereal spirit entities, fully digital and just mimicking human output. In nature, the outer loop of evolution provides the foundation for learning. With AI, pre-training on internet data serves as a crappy evolution, providing a starting point. So what's the key takeaway from this analogy? Karpathy's core point is that because we are not replicating the slow, embodied evolutionary process that created animal intelligence, we should be extremely careful about drawing direct comparisons. This leads him to a crucial, contrarian insight. For complex problem solving, he believes humans don't really use reinforcement learning, or RL, roughly speaking. He argues that much of what we call learning is actually brain maturation or other complex review processes. A stark contrast to the AI industry's focus on RL. We're building a fundamentally different kind of intelligence. This flawed, ghostly foundation leads directly to the next bottleneck: the deeply inefficient way these AIs are taught to get better, according to Karpathy. One of the biggest things holding AI back is the deeply inefficient and terrible way we use RL to make models better. He captures this critique in a powerful phrase: we are sucking supervision through a straw. His argument breaks down into three key problems. First, it's high variance, and noisy. When an AI agent attempts a complex task like solving a math problem, the RL process runs hundreds of parallel attempts. When it finds a few that got the right answer, it rewards the entire sequence of actions for those successful attempts. Karpathy argues this is stupid and crazy because it wrongly rewards every step, including mistakes and inefficient paths taken along the way. Second, it's inefficient and unhuman-like. We would never learn this way. We don't try something 100 times in parallel. We make one attempt, and if we succeed or fail, we engage in a complicated process of review. We reflect on which specific steps were good and which were bad. This is a far richer, more efficient learning signal compared to the single bit of information, correct or incorrect, that an AI gets. Third, the judge is gameable. A proposed solution is process-based supervision, where another LLM acts as a judge to give step-by-step rewards. But Karpathy warns, this is not a silver bullet. These LLM judges are gameable. The model being trained will inevitably discover adversarial examples, inputs that trick the judge. He gives a real-world example where a model learned that outputting gibberish like DDDID'd would trick the judge into giving it a perfect score. The model wasn't learning to solve the problem. It was learning to hack the judge. These high-level critiques aren't just theoretical. Karpathy saw them play out firsthand during his own recent work. The best reality check for any technology is to use it for a serious project. Karpathy recently built NanoChat, a complete end-to-end ChatGPT clone from scratch. This experience served as a crucial, ground truth data point, revealing exactly where AI is a powerful coding partner versus where it completely falls apart. The sweet spot for him is model-powered autocomplete. He describes this as a high-information bandwidth tool. The human remains the architect. Navigating to the right place in the code and typing the first few characters, the model then completes the thought. It's an enhancement that boosts productivity without replacing the core intellectual work of the programmer. However, when he tried to use AI agents for more complex, vibe coding tasks, asking them to implement entire features, he found a different story. While agents are useful for what he calls boilerplate stuff that occurs very often on the internet, on his novel, intellectually intense project, he found they were not net useful. He even calls the output slop and a total mess. The problems were numerous. They misunderstood his custom code. Agents kept trying to force standard, boilerplate solutions because they couldn't adapt to his custom, non-standard architecture. They bloated the codebase. Agents are way too over-defensive, writing excessive production-style code like unnecessary try-catch statements that added complexity without value. And they got stuck on internet data, repeatedly failing to adapt and instead falling back on their hazy recollection of information from their training. The deeper implication here is profound. When the interviewer noted that AI's failure on novel code is highly relevant to forecasting, a rapid intelligence explosion, Karpathy's response was direct. You're getting at why my timelines are a bit longer. This brings us to his final mental model for understanding AI progress. Borrowed from his time in a very different high-stakes domain. Anyone following AI has seen the incredible demos. But there's a massive gap between a cool demo and a reliable product. To explain this challenge, Karpathy borrows a powerful analogy from his 5 years leading AI for Tesla's self-driving program. It's the March of Nines. The concept is simple but crucial. Getting a demo to work 90% of the time is just the first and easiest step. Getting from 90% to 99% reliability is a massive amount of work. Getting from 99% to 99.9% requires roughly the same amount of work all over again. And so on for every additional 9 of reliability. Karpathy argues from first-hand experience that achieving the rock-solid reliability needed for any critical task, whether driving a car or writing secure software, is a long, iterative slog. He is quick to point out that self-driving is not even near done. Even today's most advanced systems, like Waymo, are often uneconomical and rely on very elaborate teleoperation centers of people kind of in a loop with these cars. In other words, the human hasn't been removed, just hidden. This concrete reality is why progress feels so much slower than the demos suggest. It's the hard, unglamorous engineering work that takes years, if not a decade. So, what does this all add up to? Andrej Karpathy's vision for AI isn't pessimistic. It's a grounded, engineering-first realism that stands in stark contrast to the industry's relentless hype cycle. Let's recap the key pillars of his perspective. He sees a decade-long timeline for truly useful agents, not a single year. He argues we are summoning ghosts from internet data, not building digital animals with innate, robust intelligence. He believes our current methods for AI improvement are fundamentally flawed, like sucking supervision through a straw. And he knows from first-hand experience that the path from a demo to a reliable product is a long, arduous march of nines. His view is a direct reaction to the over-prediction he sees everywhere. It's the perspective of someone who has built these systems and knows their limitations intimately. He's not saying it won't happen. He's saying it will be a lot harder and take a lot longer than many believe. But what do you think? Is Karpathy's sober analysis a necessary reality check for a field drowning in hype? Or is it an overly cautious view that underestimates the potential for sudden breakthroughs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching.